Hey guys, thanks for listening to another edition of the Dean Clark Group podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about more along the lines of where I see this market going in the next, going into the election cycle. And I think it's really important to, if you're a buyer or seller right now, I think both have opportunities on both sides of the transaction. And what I'm also noticing is that, Hoboken's definitely picked up some steam. The downtown Jersey City market, as well as Journal Square market, also has been seeing some good upticks in terms of activity level, and we're starting to see this going through Edgewater, West New York areas, as well as into Bergen County, obviously, like Cliffside Park. With that being the case, is I want to be very clear on what I'm seeing in the media, because I'm getting two different types of calls. One is being, this market is so super hot for sellers, I'm just going to put my property on the market. Why, or on the flip side, I am a seller with you, why aren't we getting an offer? And I think we have to look at the hyper local, what do you have and what are you offering to the market? Because I'll go back to what I said last week, which is, look, buyers make offers when they feel like it's right, not when they feel like it's low. And that's because they know what's out there. They see Zillow that level the playing field on pricing. So they're really getting an idea of what is of true value and what's not. There isn't the whole, 10, 15, 20 years ago or more going around and you having to physically go and drive around and call real estate signs and seeing what's on the market for this, what's on the market for that. And you're just trusting an agent's, conversation about what's going on or what they're getting for pricing. So with that being the case, it's very important to make sure that if you're a seller in this market, to price it for what you have as opposed to just pricing it because there's a certain number in your head as we get into the end of the year going into next year. I do see this market continuing to, looking at the data, just seeing it continue to ride out a lot based on the interest rates and the Fed coming out recently saying that they're going to hold rates down for however long it takes to get this back on. Now, that might be good and bad for some people. I know that people are saying cash is trash or, being in real estate is a good hedge for inflation, which it is, and I do believe in that for sure, even from my own investments. But I also believe that having a good cash position is also good to take advantage of any opportunities that might come your way if you're not buying specifically for yourself. And what I mean by that is if you're looking at it as an investor and as an investment, I think it's very important to look at that side and say to yourself, okay, do I see this going and where do I have to buy now or should I wait? And if you are one of the people in the camps that are looking to wait it out until next year, good. Build up your cash position as much as you can right now. See what you can do to take advantage of opportunities next year. But if you're a seller right now, the buyers are out there. And I think there's also another informational piece that I get, which is interesting, is people, these sellers always ask me, "Oh, Dean, I'm not dropping my price because before I get an offer." And I hear that a lot. And so what I like to say is, guess what? You don't have to drop your price, but why don't we incentivize the market by you coming down to actually take advantage of what's out there? The buyers are out there. They already know it's your job as a seller to meet them there, as opposed to just being in a position of ego and saying, "Oh, I want you to come to me." It doesn't work that way. Especially in a market like this where it's more normal, where there's almost the same amount of buyers as there are sellers out there, unless you're in the suburbs and there's like no inventory at all, then you can do whatever you want as a seller basically. But at least in the Hudson County market along the coast, it's normal. I'm not saying it's definitely not as raging as it was from 2014, 13 up to 2018, but now the suburbs are experiencing what we did over here in the cities. So there's a time and place for everything. So the point of this podcast is to recognize who you are as a seller, what you have, get really clear on that, be aware of what you have, and come to the market in that approach. And don't sit on offers too long. Because there's a lot of options out there, whether you're in a suburb market where there's no inventory or you're in a market where there is a good amount of inventory, just understand that inventory drives the market and you want to position yourself in the best way possible to make sure you're going to show the most value that you can extract from the market as a seller. And if you're a buyer, you know what you want to be clear about that so you can take advantage of opportunities and use as much cash as you possibly can, and don't want to borrow too much considering what's about to take place. So that's the way I see it in this week's episode. So any questions, comments, or concerns, please give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, dean@deanclarkgroup.com, 201-240-8319. Feel free to give me a text. Have a good day. See ya.